Yeah. So here we are. Here we are. The doctor herself is in the building.
Very much so. Shall I introduce myself?
Yeah. Well, you know what?
I'm always ready now.
I was gonna introduce you, but you know what it is. Go ahead and introduce yourself, young lady.
Thank you. All right. So I am Clarice Clemens Ferrara, M.D. I graduated from Meharry Medical College back in 1978. I went to med school from the age of 19 to 23. So I practiced seeing primary care patients up until last May. I'm the founder of Cancer Screening Centers. I'm also the author of Gene Themed Scene, and I'm happy to have met you. My husband was very proud to introduce me. My husband got a transmission job. I know King Clark is a nurse, and he's got his own shop, and he's also got a recording studio. But my husband wanted him to meet his family, so a few years ago, my husband brought me over to meet him, and he knows my nuclear family. He hasn't met my older children or the grandchildren, but he's definitely met Angela, and my husband, Joe Ferrara, M.D. Yeah,
absolutely. And I want to welcome her to everyone else who have not met her as yet. Mm-hmm. The doctor,
yeah,
in person, and she's got a lot to say. So I'm just gonna navigate her as she say what she say. How about that?
All right. Well.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
All right.
Let's first get to see who you are.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
Okay. All right.
What's your background? Like, who are you?
Okay. Well, I'm a very concerned human that came up with a new acronym for the word human.
Okay.
The word human for me means human universal morality against neoplasm. So I would like to fight all the reasons that humans kill other humans. So it's not just about cancer screening or healthcare or precision medicine and gene-based targeted therapy and understanding that we're all victims of epigenetics in the form of environmental toxins, dietary carcinogens, infectious irritants like HPV that causes cancers, and Hep C that can cause cancer, as well as 10 to 15% of us who, like Angelina Jolie or Katie Couric's husband, are born with a genetic predisposition. That's only 10 to 15% of people. Right. So the rest of us are vulnerable to the epigenetic factors that I just mentioned. Now, so I'm into uniting humans in the war against cancer. I'm also into creating neighborhood center franchises so that cancer screening, genomic screening, as well as mental health screening can all be done under one roof. I call it 24-hour hug and a drug, 24-hour educational centers, and a gene-themed scene ongoing TV production so that we can interview people like George Church, PhD, who's a geneticist at Harvard and MIT, and Brian Drucker, MD, who came up with Gleevec for chronic myelogenous leukemia.
Okay, I'm just going to jump in here because we want to take it slow.
Okay.
We want to take it slow only because a drug for hug is...
Drug and a hug, 24-hour drug and a hug.
A drug and a hug.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you that pretty much stand out. You just said a mouthful just now, but
I
that really stand out to me.
I feel strongly about that, yes.
Yeah?
I do.
Now, a drug and a hug.
Yes. You want me to expound on what I mean?
Yeah, a drug and a hug, because this is a...
I feel you. But I'm serious, though. Having practiced for 41 out of my 42 years of being a doctor,
right?
I can honestly tell you that being able to help people with all as their primary care physician was a great honor up until May the 2nd of last year. And I can honestly say that...
Why did you stop the practice?
Well, I don't know what I should name names, but I went skating.
Yeah, let's leave the names.
I went skating in 2014 when we still had hot skates. They just tore hot skates down.
Yeah, I'm familiar with hot skates.
Word,
definitely.
That's how I met 50 Cent's father, actually, is at hot skate. But he doesn't know his own father, so I know him. I know his name. If he ever wants to meet him, he can speak with me and maybe Biz and I can hook him up to meet his father. So I'm just giving him that shout out.
Okay,
But anyhow,
all right.
so getting back to that, unfortunately, I met someone who ended up hurting me in that he had worked with Countrywide Insurance. And after I discontinued the Mass Mutual policies that he was able to start, and I was upset because he had me pay $10,000 to Terrastone, the same company that built up Dubai, and then he wanted to get money directly from me. It came to my house and put a bill on my car, and I screamed and I called the police. And he said he would get Countrywide Insurance to send 6 charts to the OPMC, that stands for Office of Professional Medical Contact. Now, I had stopped the no-fault business way back in 2010, so I haven't seen any no-fault cases since 2010. Only from 2008 to 2010, I did see no-fault cases. So I left the no-fault industry because I found it to be, unfortunately, innately corrupt. And I say that with all due respect. I felt that patients were being hounded into having unnecessary knee and shoulder surgeries, and I felt that it just was corrupt. So when I was supposed to have to go for an examination under oath, and I was being prepped by the attorney, I chose not to go for it. I got up and I left the room, and I said, I'm not going to go for the examination. Okay, now fast forward to 2014. I have to get this all out.
I understand,
all right, go ahead.
but because
I'm just saying.
The people definitely want to hear about this too, because I'm interested about that. You're saying the lawyers had to prep you on basically how to do your job?
No. In order to answer, they wanted me to say I did not know where the account was opened, and they wanted me to pretend I didn't know what I knew. And so I chose to get up and leave the room, and because they said that some of their clients had problems with their license having gone through that process. So I escaped in 2010, but it ended up catching up with me in 2015. This person I met in 2014 knew how to access Countrywide Insurance to weaponize them against me. So he was able to do what I was trying to avoid in 2010 in 2015.
Oh, so it came back.
Exactly. So he got Countrywide to send 6 charts, 6 no-fault charts. This is not my regular practice. I had no problems with my own independent practice. From 2017 to 2019, I had my own beautiful office in Pelham, 3250 Westchester Avenue, and in the Bronx. It was beautiful. But had Lenox Hill Radiology downstairs, had BioReference across the street. It was really a perfect setting. But it wasn't anything I did there. It was, unfortunately, after the 6 charts from the Countrywide Insurance were submitted to the OPMC, then they started to look at what was going on with the Russian lady that was doing the billing for the practice I had from 2012 to 2016. So she went to jail on November the 2nd of 2016, I believe because of the spotlight from looking at the no-fault charts and then seeing what was going on with the present practice, and she was running the billing. Then the officers and patients were selling their Suboxone to undercover officers. So eventually last year, they came and put a link on me, had me there all day. I just got 5-year probation, and I have to see, now he just called me. I'm going to do a phone interview with the probation officer on Friday. So I got 5 years probation, but she went to actual jail. So it all came from being that guy in 2014 that ended up weaponizing the Countrywide Insurance through the OPMC against me, and then through all that they were doing to look at what was going on. And the unfortunate patients were selling their Suboxone to undercover cops, and her billing practices were not up to snuff. So that's what happened. So that's why I say I've been a doctor since 1978. I practiced medicine until last May. So for the last year, I've had a chance to relearn everything about genomics. And, my book is really a good reference book. I actually took a class at the NIH in 2014. It was called Current Topics in Genomic Analysis. And I can tell you that the book has a lot of basic information. It also has information from the NIH and the National Cancer Institute. Bob Marley died of a malignant melanoma that metastasized and killed him. Right. Jimmy Carter, the ex-president, actually had a malignant melanoma that metastasized to his brain. Now, luckily, he got an immunomodulator called Keytruda. You see Keytruda on the television for a non-oat cell lung carcinoma. So it depends on the mutation, not the location. Word. So that's how
Got you.
Keytruda works. Exactly.
Got you.
So I'm really into gene-based targeted therapies,
Right.
immunomodulators, kinase inhibitors, and even gene editing. In fact, CRISPR stands for clustered, regularly interspersed, short palindromic repeats. Hello. Yeah, it took a minute to get that one. So yeah,
Hello.
so you have either zinc fingers, TALENT, or the CRISPR. Now, the other good thing is that HIV. Check this out. Donor number 6. Timothy Brown had HIV and leukemia. So donor number 61 is the person they used to give him a bone marrow transplant. Donor number 61 had a CCR5 gene mutation. Those patients who have a CCR5 gene mutation, HIV cannot enter the cell. So when they used donor number 61 for Timothy Brown, he was cured of HIV, and they're using it regularly now. So that's awesome. Hello.
That's great.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's why I talk about gene-based targeted therapy. If someone has cancer, they don't know their mutation, then their doctor needs to go back to school. I'm serious about that. Everybody should know their mutation who has cancer. Now, it does not mean that there is a targeted therapy, because as you know, my husband has leukemia right now. But guess what? His doctor, Martin Tallman, M.D., knows Brian Drucker, who did the CML, who came up with Gleevec for CML. So if he had chronic myelogenous leukemia instead of acute myelogenous leukemia, then there's already a medication for that. But because it's a different mutation, he had the NRAS mutation and the trisomy 8 mutation. They're going to be doing a clinical trial this year on the NRAS mutation with Martin Tallman and Brian Drucker, who know each other. So that's so cool. I had a pleasure of meeting him back in 1996.
So for the audience,
lectured at Yale.
For the audience, I don't want to go over nobody's head.
I'll try to break it down.
I want you to. A lot of times, I'm gonna stop you, so that way you could actually break down certain things.
Sure.
Because we want everybody to really.
Well, what year did you graduate with the RN degree? What year was that?
That was early 2000.
Okay, just like in 1978, a lot of this technology and the information wasn't available at that time. Okay,
right.
Yeah, that's so true. You know.
So
yeah.
with you right now, you feel as if with cancer.
There's not a feeling. I'm not one of those alternative. I mean, I have nothing against.
When I say feel,
living right,
it's not
doing the right thing. George Church is a vegan, so I mean, and my good friend, shout out now, Jacques L'Overture is a vegan from Get Fit, Eat Well. So I think vegetarianism is good. I don't know if I could ever make it to being a vegan, but there's a lot of good evidence for it. Okay, but I think being a vegetarian, being plant-based is a good idea.
You think so?
I don't think so. I do know so.
Yeah.
The American Cancer Society did a 20-year prospective study. They found there was I want to say 40, but the increase in colon cancer was great in those who had more of a meat-based diet. Now, it is true we all need protein, and there's smart ways to get protein. Of course you can get protein from. You don't have to have meat to get protein.
It's actually...
Okay. I'm just saying.
It's actually
but it depends on your genetics, but it depends on your freaking genetics. Some people can smoke every freaking day, their whole freaking life. Christopher Reeve's wife died at 44 of freaking lung cancer. She never smoked a day in her freaking life. So you just look at George Burns. He made it to whatever year, and he smoked every time you saw him. Yeah. So it just depends on your mutations. It's in heredity and environment. Epigenetics is a combination.
I agree.
Sure.
100%. We're gonna get to the comments on some of the people out there, so that way they most likely have some questions for you.
All right.
So let's see what we got here. What do you got for us, Sandra?
Well, hey Romario, how are you? I am well. We have Romario checking in.
Romario, how you feeling, big dog?
Okay. Let's see. Lance says hello.
Lance, how you feeling? You the man. We got the doctor in the building.
And Romario wants to have her repeat what she said about the blood transplant.
Yes, I would love to repeat that.
Okay.
Let me tell you this.
Let's get it.
Word.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something. I know how to have fun. God knows I do. And I study hard to be in a position where I can answer these type of questions. So this is before I had XM radio and I could listen to Dr. Radio or Reach MD or any of those. This was on regular NPR. I pulled over in my car when I first heard about Timothy Brown, and I read about that maybe the greater part of that night. I went back and reread about it. So Timothy Brown had HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, and leukemia. Okay? So he needed a bone marrow transplant to treat his leukemia. My husband needs a bone marrow transplant, but no one has matched. Even his own brother didn't match. And our the 2 I gave birth to and the other 3 are all being checked now to see if they can be a bone marrow donor for my husband. Okay, so with Timothy Brown, they had about 200 plus people that matched to Timothy Brown. Okay. Donor number 61 had a CCR5 mutation. People who were
Break that down.
Okay, I'm going to break it down.
Got you.
Okay, every gene codes for a protein. People who are born with that particular genetic mutation, no longer HIV cannot enter the cell if a person is born with a CCR5 gene mutation.
It's knowledge, baby.
Okay,
I hope y'all are getting this. I hope y'all are getting this.
Word. Now,
talk to me.
Cellzentry is a medication I was able, up until last May, to be able to give people also. So it's not as good as getting a bone marrow transplant with a person with a CCR5 gene mutation, but when possible, I was able to prescribe that. You can look that up, SELZENTRY. Okay? Yeah, word. Okay. So yes.
Okay. Romario, I hope that's actually got some clarity for you. Just hope that gave you some clarity on that.
And he says he loves this doctor's energy.
Word.
If I was sick, her energy would cheer me up.
God bless you,
Mr. Brown says, hi, Dr.
Hey,
C.
Lawrence
That's my
Darrell
peeps.
Brown. Word.
Yeah.
He's the one that helped me be able to create space to be able to put together my material. Lawrence, that's how I met him, because someone that I know said, hey, you should meet him. He has a book already bound. Right. So all my information, he came over many times to the office over there on Sheridan, and actually to help me be able to put the book together. Thank you. And I'll give you a call, Lawrence Darrell Brown. He also wrote a book called 2 for 5, and I handed that to my precious RN King Clark. And King Clark actually has a copy of my book and a copy of Darrell's book, 2 for 5. So and he was on the show recently.
Yeah, 2 for 5 people. He did come on the show, I'd say maybe about a month and a half ago.
Yep.
Look out for him, Darrell. I mean, books is absolutely for sale right now. And also the doctor's book is also for sale.
Word.
Gene Theme Scheme. So
Gene Theme Scheme.
Right.
By Clarice Clemens for MD.
Definitely got to check that out. Let them know where they could get the book.
Amazon.com. Just Amazon.com.
Amazon, very popular place. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
Go out there, copy it.
100%.
Word. It's a lot of knowledge. I
got to tell a quick little short shout out to Tyler Perry. So back in 1989, a gentleman that I met at Woodhull Hospital had a synovial cell sarcoma, and unfortunately, before the age of 23, he died of this synovial cell sarcoma. It already metastasized. Back then, remember, this is back in the late 80s, so they didn't have all these gene-based target therapy. So I went to his funeral, and I met Cheryl Pepsi Riley, who happens to be his only sister. His only sibling happened to be Cheryl Pepsi Riley, who actually had a label with Columbia, did Thanks for My Child and others, and she's a celebrity. She just had an unsung whole thing when Tyler Perry was on there. So fast forward, I stayed in contact with the family, and we went skating with the children. He left 4 children behind. One of them just died of cancer, too, so we need to get all that done. Veritas Genetics is the best because they can do the full genomic sequencing. They have a deal with Mayo Clinic that they're recruiting healthy volunteers to undergo the full genomic sequencing process that'll be available again after the summer. But getting back to the story, so I went to the funeral. I met Cheryl Pepsi Riley, the only sister of this young man that died of a synovial cell sarcoma. Sarcoma is a very bad word when it comes to cancer because they're very aggressive. Okay, so then fast forward to 2008, she's performing with Tyler Perry in Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, in Medea's class reunion.
She's
So-
performing, meaning
She's
singing?
on the stage with freaking Tyler freaking Perry doing Tyler's freaking Medea's class reunion.
Okay.
So we
okay.
walk. So we come in a little bit late, right?
Right,
So I'm
right.
there. Angelo, and you see how pale Angelo is. He got
Yeah,
Angelo, then my husband, who happens to be an Italian physician. Then you have me.
Shout out to Angelo, by the
Word.
way.
Yeah,
What's
that's
up,
right.
big dog?
All right, Angelo.
All right. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and my wonderful husband, Joe Ferrara, MD. And then I have my beautiful Angela, his twin sister.
Right, right.
So, okay, so she's got 2 foot long braids at the time. She was, and we all were sitting there just doing what we do. So once I came in, I didn't hear him say, don't take pictures. So I'm taking pictures, literally with a flash and everything. So he looks out dressed up like Medea, and he gets a little perturbed. He gets off the stage. He comes over to Angelo. He says, "Is that your mama? Is that your mama?" Then finally he says, "What's your name?" My son said, "Angelo." Tyler Perry said, "I'm not gonna mess with anybody named Angelo." So then that went on. Okay, so then fast forward to about 2015, Mark Wright, who has a office in Atlanta near the Tyler Perry Studios, where it says, "There we grow again." I was down there. I drove down there when that happened to Talia. I took all my stuff and drove down there. I was going to try to see him, but Mark wasn't there to introduce us at the time. But anyhow, so fast forward to 2015. My book was out that year. Mark had a copy of my book, and he took it to Tyler Perry. He told him that story. And Tyler Perry told Mark, he says, "Yes, I remember her." He said, "Package her up and bring her back to me." So what I plan to do is write the story of Cheryl Pepsi Riley's brother and his daughter, who just passed away at the age of 30, and ask him to do a movie about how cancer has impacted our two lives in a parallel fashion. Because I lost my mother and father to cancer, as well as my aunt to pancreatic cancer, my uncle to esophageal cancer, and like I said, my father to lung cancer, my mom to pancreatic. So that's why I got so interested and self-educated on genetics and went through the trouble to go all the way to NIH to take a class called Current Topics in Genomic Analysis. So I'm really into inviting young people to become molecular geneticists or genetic counselors. Go into the field of genetics because we need more people to be able to do this type of research. Okay, and everyone should look up George Church, PhD. His information is very rich. George, he was featured on Church, Church, like the word church.
Okay, George
Yes, Church, PhD. He has lots of YouTube videos.
Check that out. Check that out, people.
In fact, he was
Definitely check
saying that
out.
right now you can use CRISPR technology to discern viruses. In fact, Jennifer Doudna, Doudna, PhD, is the one that came up with the CRISPR technology. She said you could use that to do a blood test for HPV. Right now, there is no blood test. I was able to check for many tests, but there is no blood test for HPV. So she said that the CRISPR technology could be used for that. Plus, George Church, I was listening to again today before I came here. Right now, with this coronavirus, you could use that CRISPR technology to tell based on a blood test. So I'm saying that the wave of the future should be now. Then I went on to hear about this nanopore technology is another way of performing the full genomic sequencing. And they're trying to say that eventually we can use that technology to see what literally know when a mutational change occurs. So please go to YouTube, look at George Church, look at all the new technologies that are available now, because there should be an outcry that we spend some of these governmental dollars to do it right. That's for sure. Word.
Definitely,
Word.
100%. One of the things that I want to kind of talk about too is one thing that I've always realized with the doctor is that she is very how would you say it?
I'm effervescent. I'm dermophobic. I'm a card carrying, proud of it, freaking phobic. Now, I watched the Django Unchained when Leonardo DiCaprio got shot. The guy shot him because he wanted him to shake his hand. The next day they had the H1N1 scare, and we were in church, and then the priest said we'd have to shake hands. I was ready to click my heels. Because
Yeah,
I hate
well-
it's so awkward when I'm not shaking hands, baby. I'm sorry. No, can't do.
Yeah,
So,
from
I'm
day
a-
one.
Word.
From day one. This is not
Right.
just
It ain't
when
nothing to do with
the
corona.
corona.
Exactly.
From day one.
Word.
Number one, she don't want to open the doors.
Word.
Right?
I carry a paper with me. My little paper should be right around here. I have it. I know it's over there in my purse.
Yeah,
it's right over there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's word.
so she does not open the doors.
Because Clostridia difficile is not killed by alcohol-based
Right.
sanitizers.
Now, the other thing
Okay,
is
look that up. CDEP,
she-
Clostridia difficile, is not killed by alcohol-based sanitizers. Go ahead.
she also does not like to handle money.
That's true, because the coronavirus is on money and it can live on dry surfaces.
Right.
Exactly.
So this is something that I kind of want to open up because I've been looking at the news on and off, and this is one thing that a lot of people are not really taking into consideration. Money. Money is something that we handle every day, all day, and we handle our money on a regular basis. But when we deal with a doorknob, some people don't want to touch the doorknob, or they don't want to touch certain surfaces. But one of the
The principle.
most contaminated object is gonna be money.
Word. I say it money hands. Like if I have to touch money, like you know, then I
Well,
always say I have
I've
money
seen
hands.
you have tissue
Word.
to give me the money. So-
That's right.
and this is
That's a true statement.
I mean, this is
knows
what she
I'm
does.
genuine. I'm
Yeah,
a
this is-
card-carrying, proud of and germophobic way before everyone was
yeah,
talking about this.
100%,
Exactly.
100%.
Word.
And to be quite honest, I haven't really met a person that's as cautious as you.
Exactly. I can remember one time examining a patient when the H1N1 scare was going, and she happened to be a school teacher, and
Okay.
she said I was the first doctor she ever met that had 100%. Let me tell you how I would do my exam. Let me tell you how I did it.
Let's get it. Let's
Word.
tell me. Let me know. Talk to me.
So I would wear
Well,
gloves.
holla at me.
I would wear gloves on myself and a glove on the stethoscope. Okay, so I start off making sure I always have a box of gloves.
Okay.
So I would always always tear paper. Make sure you have examining paper or other paper available before you put your gloves on. In fact, at Kings County, I worked at Kings County from 1985 to 1994, and Prakash Shetty, MD, hope you're still with us, asked me to lecture about sterile technique in the ER because you need to set up for yourself first,
Right.
or even use an examining glove to set up, then change those gloves, put on a new set of gloves to actually do the procedure. But getting back to the examination of a patient, so tear the paper. I have a piece of exam paper with a couple extra pieces of paper. That's so when you do the ENT exam, you can use the paper when you have your gloves on just to hold the otoscope or the ophthalmoscope.
Okay.
So you put the gloves on. You already have your stethoscope on. Then you take an extra glove and put it on the bell of the stethoscope. You lean
Okay.
over a little bit and you slip the other glove on the bell of the stethoscope.
Okay.
So then you do the heart and lung, everything you're going to do with the glove, the stethoscope. In fact, even though I have my reflex hammers, I even got good at, after I did my heart and lung and all that with the stethoscope, I got good at using the actual gloved part of the stethoscope to do the reflexes also.
Are you serious?
I couldn't make that up, okay? So I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real, I'm keeping it 100.
Well, yeah,
So even I would show people I have one, but I chose to use it, and it works very nicely because if you actually notice, you can do your reflexes with your own
With your hand,
Word.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so certainly you could do it with a gloved stethoscope. Exactly.
I've never even seen someone glove up a stethoscope, to be
Always.
honest with you. And I've been in the
Lean
medical
over
field for quite
and-
some
and
time.
Put it on.
I've never
and
seen it.
Do the whole exam.
Yeah.
Then once I'm finished with the stethoscope,
Right,
I
right.
use one of those pieces of the paper that I've already torn
Yeah.
and take the stethoscope off with the paper. Okay. So then I've got another piece of paper to hold the otoscope and ophthalmoscope. So when
Okay.
I'm doing that part exam. Okay.
Right.
So then when I finish with that, my gloves are still good, uncontaminated by anything in the room. So then I can finish my whole exam, do my palpations, check the pulses, do everything I'm going to do without the stethoscope. Then if it's a man, I'm going to do a rectal exam. I take those gloves off. I turn them around, have them lean over the table, And I tell them to wait a moment. Then I
Yeah.
go get another set of gloves and do the rectal exam.
Well, that's an exam that a lot of men don't like. I'm gonna tell you, I haven't done that, and I don't think I'm gonna want to do that one.
So for a man, that's 5 gloves per patient for a man.
Seemed like she got a little excited about that part of the examination also, so I just wanted to kind of point that out. But yeah, go ahead.
Keep it at
Continue.
100. Keep it at 100.
I love that about you.
That's what I did. So I'm just letting you know. And then, so this particular teacher, the school teacher, with the H1N1 was going around.
Careful of the mic, yeah.
Okay. School teacher tells me she was a fellow germophobic, so she could appreciate my technique. That's just without even, because I would send the women for the GYN, because I would always say you should use sterile gloves for GYN. They need to have individual kits, similar to when you do a catheterization. They should have sterile gloves for GYN with all the things you need in a kit. That would be something that I wish a venture capitalist would help someone package a GYN exam kit instead of having a lot of disposable speculums in a big plastic container and have to. Believe me, they need to have individually wrapped kits with sterile gloves and GYN to do GYN exams.
Well, that would make sense. That might be a nice product for me to invest in, actually.
Well, we got to create it first.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
But getting back to the story, this lady was a teacher.
Okay.
She said she was also germophobic. She had all her students washing. I don't know all her technique because I'm not a school teacher. My mom was a teacher. My father was a chemist. But she said out of all the classrooms in her school, hers was the only one where none of her students got the H1N1. Drop mic. Hip hop doc in the house. Word. I'm keeping it real.
Keeping it 100%. And I'm loving it. I am loving it. So, doctor, do me a favor.
Yes.
Right now, everyone has a scare.
Yes.
People are going nuts over the situation that's at hand.
But for the rest of our lives, everyone should assume that someone has a flu. Everyone, all the time. Just carry a piece of paper. And like I told my daughter the other day,
even after this is done.
Have a piece of paper, have more than one. Because once a paper is dirty, you have to discard that.
Right.
But until you have determined that you need to throw it away, know the side of the paper, know the crease so you can touch your hand on that side, and then know the doors have touched the other side. And then when possible, throw that away and get a new one. Never use that paper for something else.
All right, let me just pause right here.
Go ahead.
So
that way
you're saying it's very healthy to be a germaphobe.
It is, because Clostridium difficile is not killed by alcohol-based sanitizers.
Right. I think Trump is also like that. I'm not too sure about that.
He just had sex with a porn star. Now you're going to tell me he's a germaphobe. I don't think so. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh, God bless him. I'm praying for you, Brother Trump. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping 100 now.
Oh, my
I'm just saying.
So, you agree and you think this is the way to go. There should be a way of life.
Right. And then people could, once, the immunomodulators, when they come up with a vaccine, right now with the CRISPR technology, if you read and listen to, and listen on the YouTube, well, between Jennifer Doudna and PhD and George Church PhD, they will tell you that technology exists now to identify all these viruses. I'm just telling you this, and then there's a way. In fact, they'd already started talking about coming up with vaccinations for all viruses.
What's going on with this one?
My point is, I'm happy to say that I know that within about a year they'll have one for this virus. But my point is,
within a year, you think?
Well, that's what they said. I've been watching the news really very intently.
Yeah.
But it does take a while for everything to get through the FDA approval process. Mm-hmm. Now one day we'll get to the point where we have precision medicine, so we can know exactly what mutation you have, and then get gene-based targeted therapy, whether it be immunomodulators, kinase inhibitor, or gene editing. Right. But that day is coming very, very, very soon. No. But right now, I do believe there will be an immunomodulator that will attack this particular virus in the near future, in the very near future. And there will be the trick is to get a principal investigator that's working on it to take you into the study. Like Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, Idris Elba, they should all get in contact with the principal investigators that are working on this clinical trial now, so they can get in on it. Exactly.
Test dummy, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with that. You believe that, because right now, another thing that's been running rampant and has been taking out a lot of people is cancer.
Word.
You spoke about that.
Word.
And do you think that genotherapy can actually
100%. Look at Jimmy Carter. Do you know Jimmy? You know how Jimmy Carter broke his hip getting ready to go hunting? Okay, he had metastatic, meaning he had traveled malignant melanoma that had traveled to his brain. He got Keytruda, which is an immunomodulator based on the exact PD-L1 mutation. Okay, program that's one mutation. So my point is, we've now heard that advertised for non-small cell carcinoma of the lung. So it depends on the mutation. For example, 50 to 70% of people with cancer have the p53 mutation. Now, I thought Cellutex was going to come up with a medication, Kevitrin, for that p53 mutation, but strangely enough, it hasn't made it through the FDA approval. Plus, I think Cellutex sold it to another pharmaceutical. So it seems that it's taken longer than it should. It's all about the almighty dollar. That's why I respect the person, Brian Drucker, MD of Oregon State University, who's an oncologist and a researcher, had to threaten to try to produce Gleevec himself. Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, has CML, chronic myelogenous leukemia. And he brags on it because that's one of the first gene-based targeted therapies, okay? But Brian Drucker had to work so hard to get that Gleevec on the market because only a few people per year would get CML specifically, and the pharmaceutical company didn't want to spend the money to get it through the FDA approval process. So he moved his institution. He had to sweet talk the lawyers in Switzerland, where he had found that they were working on kinase inhibitors in Switzerland, and he had to get the lawyers in Switzerland to talk to the lawyers with him that were on his team. But first he was in Boston, now he's in Oregon. But he had to do a lot of negotiations between these people to get the molecule for what ended up becoming, it's also called imatinib, but it's now called Gleevec commercially. But to get that so that it would treat his CML patients, right?
Wow. So in this book, can the audience actually read it and articulate about, because there's a lot of people out there that their family members may have certain types of cancer.
Right. Let me tell you a quick story.
Okay.
I didn't know about Jimmy Carter until 2016. This book came out in 2015.
Right.
So I looked up what do they treat Jimmy Carter with, and I found they treated him with Keytruda. So then I was so proud when I looked at my book under skin cancer, and I said, word, there it is right there.
Oh, it was already there.
It was already there.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
So, and then like if you have metastatic prostate cancer, Provench is already in there for that. So near the end of the book, we have individual cancers listed and the gene-based targeted therapies that were available at that time in 2015. Now, we need to update that because hopefully we'll get more and more, like they're going to start a clinical trial on my husband's mutation soon.
Oh,
okay.
awesome.
Are
you going to do...
yes, I will. As a matter of fact, Dorrance, Dorrance, has contacted me. I have a contract right now that they want me to sign so that I can get the book at Barnes & Noble. So I'll update it when it's on the shelves at Barnes & Noble. Hopefully I'll be able to update it. Or just make it
Amazon right now, people.
Amazon.com,
go out there and check this book out. Make sure you get this book and read it.
Only in Amazon for right now.
Information.
Yes, only in Amazon right now.
Go to Amazon and cop this book. Right. Lot of interesting information in here, and cancer is I mean. Right now, a lot of us are thinking about this coronavirus, and cancer been around and just been kicking ass for many, many, many years.
That's why I want community centers where we can do the cancer screening, the
Right.
CEA, that stands for carcinogenic embryonic antigen. This is what I did up until last
So
May.
basically, what you're saying is
there's two
that
markers
if
that are
it's
available.
detected at an early
Early
stage,
stage, yes.
it's very important for the public to know that they do have this
I had
cancer,
a
if
pa-
they do have the cancer, and you're at a better.
I have a young lady
You're in a
who
better
was-
situation
who
to
was
cure
barely
it.
40 years old, and I did the CA 125 that was elevated. She got her GYN surgeon did ovarian biopsy and found that she does have ovarian cancer. And then her insurance company called her up and was willing to do the genetic testing that's usually so difficult to get. Sure enough, she has an Angelina Jolie gene. She has a BRCA mutation. So it's important that I did the CA 125 so she could get that done in time. Had
Wow.
another gentleman that I saw, and like I say, I always routinely did the CEA, carcinogenic embryonic antigen, CA 19-9 for pancreatic cancer. I always say
Right.
if Alex Trebek or if
Well, they say they
yeah,
start doing
they're
that at
working on
about
him.
40.
Well,
that
well, you're thinking
45
You're
actually.
thinking at 45 you do the colonoscopy. So all the
Right.
women do the
Colonoscopy.
mammogram,
Right.
and women and men do the colonoscopy, and then of course the Pap smear. And then if there's a lesion, a wart or another lesion, you should get that HPV done, whether you're a man or a woman. Even men can get an anal Pap smear to check for HPV. So,
Okay.
but in addition to that, I'm saying there's blood tests that you can just check on a regular.
Right, that's what I was
Quest
gonna ask you.
Labdoor-
Like,
regular
how-
own lab test.
like your yearly, you're saying
Yes.
you should be checking all this on a
these
yearly.
Other tests, right? Because even children develop cancer. Look at St. Jude's. So
Right.
the CEA, the CA 19-9 for the pancreatic cancer, CA 125 ovarian cancer, the PSA for the men,
Right.
the alpha fetoprotein, which is for liver cancer. I had a gentleman whose alpha fetoprotein was elevated. I
Right.
sent him right downstairs, and he got a scan that showed that he had liver, one in the right lobe, one left lobe. I gave him a prescription to get a liver biopsy. He took it to Bellevue, and sure enough, he had hepatocellular carcinoma of the liver
Wow.
that we found
Wow.
in time. So,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
and then the CA 15-3 for mucinous type cancers.
awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
so at
Well,
least six,
we
yeah.
have about 6 minutes to go.
Wow, that went by fast.
Yeah, and you know, I know you enjoy talking. That's the reason why a lot of times I got to just interrupt you a little bit, you know. But I definitely
You knew I
love
could-
the vibes. You know,
Word.
this is the hip hop doctor, by the way. All right. So, yeah, this is what it is. So, I want you to keep in mind we got 6 minutes. So let's say keep in mind you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
I want for you to leave the audience with one of the most important thing that you could give to them right now. And I don't want you to make it too complex.
Okay.
It's very important. I want you to give them something
Okay.
that you really want to give them from the
Okay.
bottom of your heart.
Okay. I can
But
do that.
in about 3 minutes.
Okay. Human, no matter what your, as a 9-year-old human myself, as born Baptist, you know, now I'm Catholic with my husband, but I was a little Baptist 9-year-old. I thought, all these people who have never seen a book in their lifetime, they're not. So my point is to unite the human race. For me, human means human, H, universal, U, morality, M, against. Neoplasm is another word for cancer. So I want all humans to find that we are fellow humans in this world with all these epigenetic factors, environmental toxins, dietary carcinogens, infectious disease irritants, and 10 to 15% of us are born with hereditary predispositions that we need to know about. So I'm saying that we all need to
Absolutely.
unite in the common war against cancer, and let's start some neighborhood franchise opportunities to have a gene-themed scene TV series and to be able to do cancer screening, genetic screening, as well as mental health screening. And I really meant that 24-hour Hugging a Drug centers open 24 hours so you can put on the TV show, work in front and behind the camera, videography, plumbing, electrical, etc. Anything that's helping the human race, because everything productive that's helping humans stay alive is what I'm all about. Hello.
Copy that.
Word.
Copy that. Copy that.
Okay.
The theme of that, hug and a drug. A hug and a drug?
Because for some people are really addicted. There's a hereditary predisposition in some families to be addicted. There's an there literally is an unfortunate familial tendency for addiction.
Right.
So that's why I say Suboxone is I know people who have tracts. When I was at King's College, I saw people with tracts in their neck and their antecubital fossa and their groins, their leg. Every place there was a possibility to inject. And I was so proud when I was able to pass the test to give out Suboxone. It's sad it ended so sadly because it is a medication that helps people get off of intravenous heroin. So I'm saying that some people are born with these addictions, and they're still people. They're wonderful people. They just have an unfortunate addiction. So I'm saying that all the things that a doctor can do, and that includes literally a hug and a drug, you should be able to do and have it where there's no stigma attached to any type of addiction or mental health issues. Because if you have a doctor that really cares and a center that really has a good outreach program, it can be open 24/7 because it's a place where you can learn. I look forward to a day when security officers could learn how to be psych techs and give a gift card if somebody will undergo the screening process at their neighborhood center. So I'm saying let's unite human universal morality against neoplasm. Drop mic. Okay.
Human, baby.
Word.
HUMAN. Human.
That's right.
Any last words?
Nope. Just stay safe, everyone.
Word. Carry your paper, everyone.
Carry your paper.
Word. Word.
All right. So one of the last things that I'm going to say today is, as you hear it from the hip hop doctor, we need to stay safe and we need to really protect ourselves. We need to educate ourselves. And one of the ways of doing that is cop this book. And even though we are all against the coronavirus, something that's also of a big concern is cancer. The big C. So I want to say, take into consideration everything that the hip-hop doctor has said. You see her vibes, and you understand the reason why she is how she is. Very pleasant lady, and she's giving you guys 100% because this is how she do, what she do. Please support this book, support this lady, 100%. And on that note, by any means necessary, holla at me.